Oh, I won't back down. Oh, I can't back down. You could stand me up at the gates of hell, or maybe the Degrassi black hole. I know I have many weird opinions, but I know it's right to tell you why I can think of 10 things that I can't let go, and I won't back down. You know the whole saying that sometimes friendship can be good, the power of friendship, the mind blown pony trope, and friendships can last forever. But the fact of the matter is that sometimes friendships can lead to chaos and all that. Degrassi has had many friendships that have been good, such as the underrated relationship between Craig and Jimmy, or Craig and Marco. And of course, you have terrible friendships such as Anya and Holly J. And of course, the friendship I'm talking about now, well, Toby and JT. But the friendship I'm talking about is a terrible friendship between Manny and Emma. Everyone knows about Emma's terrible friendships towards Manny, and basically being selfish and self-serving, and basically wanting to, lecture Manny on things. But what if I told you that Emma's clingy friend phase was not only just because of the Rick Murray situation, but because of something she had done in season 4 to tick off Manny to make sure they're not friends anymore. I mean, I know the friendship was off and on, but still, it's terrible to think. But there's always something about cleanliness with Emma, which is kind of strange. But anyway, I'll talk about that in this video. Emma Nelson, for all she's known for and all she is to be known for, her friendship with Manny is one of the biggest standing points of why she's hated by the Degrassi Reddit universe. Now, of course, I understand why Emma and Manny were bad friends to each other. Well, Emma was more of a bad friend to Manny than Manny was to Emma. So, the main topic sentence for this, what friendship to me is, Emma was a good friend to Manny. However, she ended up going a little too far. And that's true. If you look at the first few seasons of the show, it's like Emma wanted to protect Manny from herself. And then, there was a massive transition later on, after a certain point in Degrassi. So what I'm trying to get at is that Emma's clingy friend phase, as I call it, was there, but after a certain incident in season 4, she ended up turning it and trying to make her friendship stick, even though sometimes it was to a much different extreme. So let's start with some context on the Emma Manny friendship. Season 1, the first ever episode, Manny and Emma are good friends and all that, and hang out around each other. And they even hang out around Emma's computer while she talks to Jordan, a boy she thinks is from the Yukon and is an environmentalist like her. Unfortunately for Emma, she was catfished. Manny, with the help of JT and Toby, get Emma out of the situation. The simple fact is that, Emma feels bad for herself and blames herself for a lot of things. And the fact of the matter was that, Emma was told to come to Spike with anything personal, and Emma still, in a sense, didn't. But the fact of the matter for Emma is that Emma and Manny's friendship struck a bad chord when Manny wants to go out for the Spirit Squad, and Emma doesn't like the Spirit Squad, saying that cheerleading is sexist. Although they said, well, there'll be boys on the team too, as cheerleaders and mascots. Emma's like, that doesn't mean anything. Because sexism is not about gender. It's all about the fact that people think cheerleaders are bimbos and all that. Manny makes it to the Spirit Squad, Emma does not, and Emma decides to write a scathing article on cheerleading. Of course, the Spirit Squad is not too pleased with it because the Spirit Squad is nervous because this could ruin their chances to be a club at the school. The article's there. So they rip up the article and all that. Emma complains. But Emma then realizes she should not have ticked off Manny and all that. And learns to accept Manny being part of the Spirit Squad. Then Emma and Manny's friendship was okay. Season 2, there were a couple of weird things, including, Emma wanted to be with Craig, but Craig chooses Manny over her. Emma is heartbroken by the decision, but lets it go. And then you got the fact that, Manny told Emma that Sean was invited to the wedding of Spike and Snake. And Emma's like, why would you do that? I mean, we've had a tough time. Sean pushed Emma into the ground by accident while he was fighting Jimmy. And then, Emma had a lot of trauma. She had to deal with a bad hair day, a bad cake, and the fact that Spike was pregnant and was willing to abort the baby and not have a second mistake, which Emma really took as a trigger sign. Emma decides to try to talk to Snake, but Manny says that, things will blow over. But Emma doesn't listen to Manny. Manny shides Emma the next day, but Emma says, I had to do what was right, and a good friend would help me out in the situation. The fact of the matter is that Emma was going a little bit overboard. Manny was right. Like, everything would work out. I mean, but Spike and Snake do talk it out, and Emma gets what her desire is. A new sibling. But, of course, Emma makes it her mission to stay with Manny. However, when Manny decides in season 3 to not be cute and adorable, she wanted to be hot, not cute, to put up for Sully, Emma was not too pleased with it. Although Manny used her hotness to get Emma people in her fun rental club, but Emma realizes that she can't do this. This is not her, and tells Manny to tone down her stuff. And Manny says, you always have to make it about you, don't you? And the fact of the matter is that, she lists off stuff that she was there for Emma to help her out, and Emma just couldn't let it go. So, Emma and Manny are at odds with each other. Then, in the rave episode, Manny wants Emma to go after Chris, but Emma says, I can't do that. That'd be evil. And Emma may have had a chance with Chris and Miranda having a fight, but Emma did not want to be a bitch and decides to leave the rave. Little does she know that Manny and Craig were there in her house having sex on her bed, and Emma's discussing. Emma and Manny talk afterwards. Manny says, Emma, you stayed at the rave to go after Chris. And Emma's like, no, I didn't. I stopped myself from being evil. And tells Manny, you have to choose whether to what you want to be. Do you want to go down this hot path and cause trouble? And Manny says, I don't want to be friends with you. I don't want to be friends with a British princess like you. And Emma retorts by saying, fine, I don't want to be seen with a school slut. And they break off as friends for a while. I mean, Manny and Emma do come back as friends just as Manny gets pregnant and wants to abort the baby. Emma's not too pleased with it, wants Manny and Craig to babysit Jack and see what it feels like. They don't do a good job, and that's when Manny feels like she should abort. Emma's like, there's great adoption agencies and all of that. You can, have your baby and then have it adopted. Of course, Manny's not too sure about things. But the fact of the matter is that, Emma was just trying to be, she wanted to be a caring friend. But then Emma decides to show her true colors as being a friend and tells Craig off saying that, I agree with everything, Craig. She shouldn't abort the baby, but it's her body. Her right to choose. And she wasn't my best friend. I'd be mad. And then, well, to me, it's like, wait a minute. I thought Manny and Emma stopped being friends. But no, people said that they were talking to each other. Okay. Fair enough. So then season 4 pops up, and this is basically where everything goes off the radar. And this is basically the main entry. So season 4 happens. Emma and Chris are broken up. Emma finds out through Manny that Liberty has eyes for Chris. And Manny says, I will help you get Chris back. But Emma says, I don't want Chris back. I just don't want Liberty dating him because what does that say about me? What will people think about me? And Manny says, wow, you've said some evil stuff. And you've said some horrible stuff in the past. Such as the whole abortion thing. Despite the fact that Emma was protecting Manny. But yeah, the fact that Emma said that about the abortion thing was stuck in Manny's craw. So basically, Liberty finds out through Manny about Emma's plan. Emma says, I just miss Chris, I guess. Meaning that she's basically lying to Manny or lying to Liberty. I guess she kind of figured that she just missed Chris and didn't know how to say it. Unfortunately, that loses her Manny and Liberty as a friend. Although Liberty, I wouldn't worry too much about, because Liberty and Emma, how often were they friends? Not too much. This is season 4, remember. And that whole inadvertently losing Manny in season 4 led Emma to try to get into Paige's friend group to get rid of Rick, maybe as a sign of her being the cause girl and her gaining friends and all that. Even though that she warned Manny about Paige in season 1. Season 4, she draws towards Paige. I know, Emma's older. And Emma started having that glow up ball, or Mary McDonald did. So, long story short, Emma and Paige do an orange ribbon campaign. Rick tries to bribe himself out of this mess. It didn't work out. Everyone beats up on Rick. Emma realizes her cause is not taken clearly, so she decides to break off everything and loses Paige's friend group. And basically the only people that will hang out around her are the Quiz Boat group of Rick, Toby, and Heather Sinclair. How Emma got along with Heather Sinclair, I don't know. But it only proves that Heather Sinclair was better than Paige, in a sense. So then Heather gets replaced by Jimmy because of Mono. And you know, Emma sticks out and all that. Manny and Emma don't really talk to each other that much. And Emma's just in a friend group that doesn't work out because both Toby and Rick at different times have creeped on her. So Emma doesn't know what to do. So Emma thinks that she's okay and all that, but Rick makes advances towards her on the quiz competition. And of course, Emma is nearly shot. Thanks to Sean, she isn't. But of course, you know, Emma didn't really have the friend group. Although Manny and Liberty tried to help Emma get out of her zombie Emma phase, it looked like Emma didn't want to. And Emma was just in a daze. And then season 5 pops up, and Emma and Manny talk about Emma trying to get with Peter. Manny gets drunk at a party. Peter gets a incriminating video of her and wants Manny to go out with him in exchange for the video not showing up. But Manny does not budge. Peter then sends out the video all over the school and all that. And Emma is pissed off with Manny. Not because of the video, but because Manny was over at Peter's, and Emma thought that Manny was trying to steal Peter from Emma because Emma wanted to be with Peter. Of course, that's not the case, and Emma jumps the gun again. Fortunately, though, Emma learns from her mistake and invites Manny back to live with her because Manny's parents kick her out for not bowing down to Manny's dad. And it wasn't because of that. It was because maybe the plastic surgery, but it was not because of that video. So, what you got yourself was a big situation that Emma and Manny were living together. And Emma decides to date Peter despite the fact that Peter ruined Manny for some strange reason. Emma was easily coerced by Peter and, you know, the one of a guy. Of course, this is not what this video is about. I'll get to that in my second last one. This is number 6 in the series. Number 9 will be Emma being a clean girlfriend. But of course, she betrays Manny by dating Peter and all that. And which is stupid and all that. Manny should have left Emma high and dry. Manny does help Emma deal with her problems through an intervention with her eating disorder. Now, let's not forget, Manny wanted to lose weight for a role, and Emma decided to budge in and try to help. But Emma's help does not work out, and Manny decided not to do the whole body loss thing. Weight loss thing, I mean. So Emma, goes through the weight loss thing, has a panic attack after Manny tells everyone about her eating disorder. So she goes after Manny, but then she suffers a panic attack, goes to the hospital. Manny's trying to help Emma deal with it, and Emma vows to not be so stupid. And the friendship is there for Emma and Manny in season 6. Although Manny does tell Peter about Sean coming back and the history between Sean and Emma. Maybe as a way to get rid of Pema once and for all. Manny has to be the one to tell Emma the news about the whole street race and that Sean's an innocent bystander and that Peter initiated everything. But Emma says, "Who held my hand at the hospital?" It was actually Manny. It wasn't Peter. Peter was talking to Snake. But Peter might have held Emma's hand at a different time, and we didn't know. But anyway, once Manny says that there's a mask in the locker, who put it in? Emma puts two together and breaks off with Peter. Manny and Emma still live together, and then season 6, If You Leave, had a big kettle of fish in which Manny decides to move back home. Emma is worried about losing Manny as an ally and goes a little bit overboard, saying that everything that Emma did was because she was fearing she was going to lose Manny as an ally. But Manny tells her that we've gone through things together, Emma. We're a team. Your problems are my problems and vice versa. And Emma realizes that she needs a reminder about the friendship. Unfortunately, that friendship turned sour as Emma put a lot more emphasis on being friends with Manny than anything else in a sense, other than getting a guy. And manages to get in the same school as Manny, Smithdale, and wants to room with Manny. Unfortunately, Smithdale makes a big blunder, and Emma, behind the scenes, decides to pull strings to try to get them back together, and all of that, which was kind of dumb in a sense. It was supposed to happen in the first place, but Emma could have just easily just said, "Oh, well, there's a mistake," and then let the process run. But Emma was just too impatient. And then her need for a friend, especially with Manny and all that, was with the pot brownies, because Emma was trying to get rid of her blonde vanilla image, as people are portraying it with her. So that's that. And Emma was upset when Manny decides to stay in Hollywood. After all, Emma and Manny were together when Degrassi goes to Hollywood. But the simple fact is that, Emma was upset when Manny left her for Hollywood. However, Manny did come back in season 9 when Spinner and Emma decided to renew their vows on the beach. And that's what happened. She wanted to help Emma out. So it was kind of a reverse Uno card. Is that Emma wanted to protect Manny from herself, and then after season 5, it looked like Manny wanted to protect Emma from herself. So anyway, I did a Reddit post over a month ago, and this is being taped on September 16 for context. I said, was Emma a clingy friend to Manny at any point during the show? I actually did a poll, and the options were yes, but after the Rick situation. Yes, it was always there. No, Emma didn't cling on to Manny as a friend. And no, there's another term for that friendship that isn't nice. So 100 people voted, and 58, said either yes after the Rick situation, yes, it was always there somehow. So yeah, so it was 58-42. So yes, Emma was a clingy friend to Manny. That's what they said. So, but anyway, here's my post. There were a couple of comments about this, but anyway, here we go. Was Emma a clingy friend to Manny at any point during the show? I argue more so after the Rick situation, because Emma lost Manny and Liberty as friends over pettiness with Chris, going towards Liberty, but Emma deserved it. But now that she may have realized the loss of friends had her less allies in Rick's creepy advances, she felt like maybe if she wasn't so stupid, Manny would have told her something about Rick and Emma would have avoided issues. However, by season 5, she was not herself. We could all see it as an audience. Maybe, just maybe, when Manny moved into Emma's house after being kicked out of her house, Emma saw it as a good thing, as she would be the sister she always might have the sister she always wanted. But I will say this: there might have been a dark underbelly towards the situation, as Emma knew that if Manny objected to things, she can try to kick her out. That's what Emma tried to do after the intervention, before her panic attack. And let's not forget season 6, If You Leave. The premise was that Emma was upset Manny was moving back home. It's one thing that you're upset over JT's death happening so close to your house, and you're afraid. And you're afraid you're going to lose Manny as an ally. But to try to install a Lakehurst-Degrassi feud and get back to your old habits that pissed people off in the first place, that's another. Fortunately, Manny and Emma make up, but in season 8, the clingy issue did come up when Emma pulled strings to get Manny and Liberty to be her roommates because Emma was afraid of being alone and was upset when Manny went to Hollywood and Liberty went to pre-law. It took the sales out of her. I don't know. So, anyway, Good Vibes said, I feel like the show goes codependent with the best friend characters. But I always thought it was toxic how they only got back together after some major life event. If their friendship was strong, they would not have fought as often as they did. And Gwendolyn said, that's how I feel about all the romantic relationships too. I wanted so desperately for them to show an easy friendship / relationship. Degrassi does a good job starting conversations and removing stigma from so many issues, but it bothers me. I grew up thinking fights were normal in friendships and relationships, but in adulthood, I keep people that are easy to care about. So basically, Gwendolyn talks about a few things. So anyway, yeah, the major point is the clingy friend phase. And Emma had a clingy friend phase because of the Rick situation. Now you're thinking, how would you figure that? Well, let's see the whole thing before Rick, in season 4, before Rick had the gun in Emma's head. Manny and Emma were close friends, and then the whole Chris situation happened the episode before Mercy Street, when Emma was worried that if Liberty and Chris were together, what does that say about her? And that gets me thinking, it's like, hang on a sec. You're a cause girl, and you don't care what people think about you. Now you care about what people think of you because of a romantic relationship? Something changed in Emma's head. She became more ditzy, I guess, in a sense. But what you also got to remember is that, Emma had issues. Of course, Emma loses Manny and Liberty as friends, and she deserved it. And then she wanted to latch on to Paige's group to friendship and to prove that she is that cause girl, even though the cause girl effect probably was lost on a lot of people. People were upset with Emma. So Emma botched it a lot in the situation. And the fact of the matter was that, Emma didn't have a friend group. The only people she hung around with was the Quiz Bowl team of Jimmy, Toby, and Rick. And 2 of those 3 boys actually had creepy advances towards her. No, Jimmy didn't have any thoughts for Emma. But, yeah, so, they even kissed Emma part of the kissing bet. Well, Emma kissed them as a sign of pity, those 2. I guess that was the only kiss Rick got in the kissing competition. Toby got many kisses. But the fact of the matter is that, Emma was lost. And she probably felt that, if she stuck together and didn't cause trouble, that Manny probably would have gotten her to realize things were off. And Emma probably would have figured something was bad with her. And she was a bad friend. But, of course, things happen for a reason. And Emma makes mistakes. A whole lot of mistakes. But, yeah, you could see the friend dynamic between Emma and Manny change after season 4. After the Rick situation. Because, Emma was clingy. Not just being a friend, but being a girlfriend, too. I don't think... I'm hoping people don't realize this, but I heard somewhere that there was a theory that Emma was probably wanting Manny as a partner and was jealous that Manny wanted to go after boys and Emma wanted Manny. But nah, that's not true. That's dumb. Emma was straight. You knew she was straight as an arrow. Regardless of that, Emma was purely wanted to be with Manny and wanted to suck up and all that. She knew that Manny was living with her, and Emma realized that she could have Manny in her clutches and basically, boss Manny around. And then if Manny had any issues, then Emma could kick her out. But of course, it wouldn't work out in the end. Regardless of that, Emma did a lot of bad things in the relationship with Manny. I know that. We all know that. The audience knows that too. I don't know how tight Cassie Steele and Mary McDonald are in real life. But anyway, yeah. Emma's clingy friend phase. Especially if you leave when Manny wants to move out of the house. Emma feels like she's losing an outline. Her actions were just deemed irreprehensible. Fortunately, it does let Emma realize that the old Emma from the first 3 seasons before her zombie phase actually did have a dark underbelly and trying to take control of things and all that. So that's what happened. Emma was reminded that she couldn't go back to the old Emma because the old Emma had pissed people off. Emma tried everything in her power to stay with Manny as a friend and all that, especially in college. And let's not forget about her trying to get friends in college, period. And she was clingy towards Kelly, yeah. But she was also clingy towards the friend group and doing anything possible with her pot brownies that almost got her expelled. And then once Manny and Liberty are gone from Smithdale, Emma's all by herself and she's upset with herself. And instead of embracing school and all that, maybe getting better, she embraces trying to find friends to replace Manny and Liberty. Although I keep saying, why does she put a lot of emphasis on being friends with Liberty? I mean, Liberty and her are not really good friends. But that's what it is. Emma was a clingy friend after the Rick situation. You could see it in her body language and her actions. And actions sometimes speak louder than the words. Thanks for watching. I'm Jeff.